Yes? Yes? Let's go! This is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live Friday, October 3rd, 2014. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! How you doing, man? Football, and it is a Football Friday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Yes! 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 Oh, man, I'm just excited because we got football galore. I mean, just a ton of football. We're going to talk about it. Game started last night. We had a real good one on Thursday night in the college variety. Now, you know the NFL sucks on Thursday night, and that stood up last night as well. So we're going to get into all of that conversation. We got a great guest for you today on this Football Funny Friday as well. We're going to talk to Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy. Yeah, you might know Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy. So he's going to join us today and get our laugh on, and we're going to talk about these games. We're going to hit the Falcons. We're going to hit Georgia Tech. We're going to hit the Georgia Bulldogs. So just a lot of stuff to get into, man, and I really appreciate you joining your boy. Hit me up at 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. You can also email me, Doug, at thedugstewartshow.com. All right? And, once again, it's on. Where the numbers the day before were better than the numbers the day before that. So yesterday, our numbers and listens were higher than Wednesday. And so it continues today. Continue to tell people about the show. Continue to tell everybody you know about the show. Tell at least 2 people. That's all that I ask, is that you tell at least 2 people. If you tell at least 2 people, then I'm good. I mean, I can't ask for more than that. I mean, what more can I ask for but for you to tell 2 people? This segment is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel, one-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. How's your fantasy season been going? Mine is pretty much sucked. I'm just going to be very candid with you. And what happens a lot of times in fantasy sports is your draft doesn't go the way that you wanted to. It seems like in my football draft this year, every time I was about to pick a guy, he was taking like the pick before me. I started out the draft, I had like the 8th or 9th pick, so you know how that goes. You don't have the real guys you really want to take, so then you're trying to figure things out. So my team sucks right now. I got a couple of injuries. Go to FanDuel on my page at thedugstewartshow.com. Click on their banner link and just play a one-day fantasy game. That's right. You don't even have to play a week or a month or a year. You can play a one-day fantasy game for real cash-ola. When you win, they put money in your bank account. So go to FanDuel on my page at thedugstewartshow.com. Click on their banner and get down with some fun fantasy sports. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. You can also hit me on Twitter at The Doug Stewart Show. And then you can also hit me up on the chat line on Spreaker.com. And that's a big thing as well. Make sure you follow me on Spreaker.com. I am in an all-out war. And I mean this. And there's somebody hit me yesterday, and they it's like, Doug, you sound crazy when you say that statement that you made earlier today. No, I'm serious. I'm in an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk. I am. Yes, I am. And so we're going to defeat lame-ass sports talk. And you know what you can do on this show? This show is kind of like the HBO of sports talk radios, because you can use the F word. Yes, you can use the F word whenever you want it to show emphasis. I'm not talking about that F word, though, dummy. I'm talking about unfiltered with an F. I'm talking about freedom with what you're talking about and what your opinions are and what your passions are in sports. I'm talking about a show for the fans. Yes, you can use the F word on this show anytime you want. Don't use that other F word, the one you use with your cousins when you out sitting under the shade tree. I'm talking about fan freedom, fabulous football. You can use all those F words without it being unfiltered. Yes! Yes. This ain't the puppet factory, man. You can keep it real on this show. And I'm going to keep it real in this show. You better believe that. I am going to keep it real in this show, and I'll let you keep it real in this show. So hit your boy up, 404-382-0338. Like I said, we got Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy, coming on a little bit later. Talk about what he's got going on. He'll probably tell a couple of little jokey jokes, so you don't want to miss that. The most feared man in comedy, Henry Welsh. Look him up if you don't believe me about Henry Welsh being the most feared man in comedy. All right, some sports. Last night, Arizona goes on the road to beat Oregon 31-24. Are you kidding me? What? And you know why I'm happy? You know why I root against Oregon? Because I feel like Oregon, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I feel like Oregon is one of those signature organizations or programs that runs all of this spread crap. And if you listened to me before, I am anti-spread. I used to like the spread because it was kind of cool. It was kind of kooky. Now everybody and their mama running the spread. I mean, did you ever think in your lifetime that you would see Alabama run spread plays? Yes. So that's what Lane Kiffin got them doing down there. So I absolutely hate the spread. I yearn for the days when teams will line up in I formation with a tight end and a fullback and do a lot of play action. I yearn for those days because I swear, I mean, I don't have any facts in front of me right now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I don't have any facts in front of me right now, any stats to prove this, but I would guarantee you that 75 to 80% of every program in college football is running that stinky ass spread. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. All right? And it's cute. And it's a lot of fakes, and you got guys going all over the place, and it's passing, and that's what young people like today is they like high-paced offense. They like a lot of passing. No, I like defense too. So I don't like all of this spread stuff, and I feel like that Oregon is a team that plays with all this finesse, and whenever they play against a team that'll punch you in the mouth, and Arizona was very aggressive last night. Whenever they play against a team that punches you in the mouth, i.e. what happened in the national championship game against Auburn, whenever they play against one of those teams, they wilter. And so the good for them. Yeah, the good for Oregon last night losing your national championship hopes are dashed, definitely. Also last night in the NFL, I mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, these Thursday night games are horrible. I mean, these Thursday night games are absolutely horrible, and I don't know the science behind why these teams look so bad, and there's so many blowouts on Thursday nights. I've heard a lot of different experts talking about it, and it comes down to the fact that it's throwing these guys off the schedule. But the Packers just destroyed the Vikings last night, 42-10. And let me say this unequivocally. The Minnesota Vikings and Christian Ponder, they suck. I'm holding two thumbs down right now in studio. I wish you could see me. They absolutely suck. And this is why Teddy Bridgewater has the weight of the state of Minnesota on his shoulders. Because last week, they looked fantastic. Now it was just one game. But they looked fantastic last week. And just 4 days later, they suck? Yes, and I blame Christian Ponder. And I remember when Christian Ponder came out of college, and everybody was shocked the fact that he was taken so high by the Minnesota Vikings because they didn't see this in him at Florida State. He was a good player, but not to the level of where the Vikings took him. And last night, he was horrible. 22 for 44, 222 yards. That's horrible because, you know, a lot of those passes were thrown at the end of the game where they were just trying to put points on the board. They were just throwing darts to the wall. And 2 interceptions. So he sucks. Eddie Lacy goes off last night. Every time I see Eddie Lacy's name, I think about the Dallas Cowboys. Even though Dallas is good right now, their running attack, they would tell you with DeMarco Murray. But I remember when Eddie Lacy came out and the Cowboys had a shot to pick him and they passed. And I think they're going to regret that at some point. Eddie Lacy just goes off last night. Huge game for the Green Bay Packers. 13 carries, 105 yards, and 2 TDs. So he gets a baller award as well. Also in the world of baseball, the Kansas City Royals jump out on the California Angels, a.k.a. Anaheim Angels, 3-2. So they win the first game in their series in the ALCS. Also, the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers go down to the Orioles, 12-3. So shouts out to both of those teams right now. as they take a one-game lead in both of their series. I'm kind of rooting for Baltimore, man. The Braves not in it. So I'm kind of rooting for Baltimore. And you know why I'm rooting for Baltimore? I really respect the fact when somebody can come in and change the whole culture of an organization, of a program. And that's exactly what Buck Showalter has done with these Baltimore Orioles. You know about his success with the Yankees, but the Orioles has been a bad team for a long, long time. So I like the fact that they've come in and Buck Showalter has pretty much turned around their mentality and the culture around there. So shouts out to the Baltimore Orioles. That'd be a good story if they could advance and make it to a World Series and possibly win. And I also like their logo. I think they got one of the most pimpish logos in the history of sports. The little smiling Oriole. That's cute. I really like that. You remember when they changed the logo for a couple of years? And I think everybody's just outraged about it and desire to see the old logo come back came to fruition. And so they changed it back to the little smiling cartoon logo. I really like that. So that's what happened last night with those guys. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about everything Georgia football. And I mean everything Georgia football. The Falcons go on the road to take on the Giants. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets host the Miami Hurricanes. I was about to say Dolphins. As well as Georgia, the Bulldogs host the Vanderbilt Commodores, who is pretty much back to life and back to reality. If you know what I'm talking about with Vanderbilt, they suck too. I mean, if you're talking about some of the historically historically bad programs that suck in college football, you'd be talking about Vanderbilt. You used to could talk about Rutgers, but Rutgers has been playing pretty good lately. You'd be talking about Duke. Duke's kind of turned things around over the last couple of years, playing good football. But yeah, Vanderbilt's in that category. And so they travel to Georgia this weekend, and we'll see what them Bulldogs do. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. Grab some of your phone calls. Don't forget, Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy, is coming up a little bit later in today's show. We're taking your phone calls, talking about your tweets. Don't forget, tonight, you can still get tickets. You can still get tickets to the Classic Party, the Classic Party, tonight at the Crown Plaza. It's going down this weekend. The Atlanta Classic, the South Carolina State Bulldogs taking on the North Carolina A&T Aggies. So, man, we're doing it tonight real big, woolly, grown and sexy. Alumni, anybody can come through and want to party with the grown and sexy alumni from South Carolina State, majoritively. Come on through and holla at your boys tonight. Crown Plaza party starts off at 10. It's going to be crazy. But when we get back, we'll continue to talk about these sports, not just Georgia sports. Wherever you're at, the great thing about this show is I'm worldwide, shorty. If you in Texas, in Cali, in Wisconsin, and you want to talk about your team, this is the place to do it. Sports talk with hot sauce. Yes! This is the Doug Stewart Show. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. I'll at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes!
Sucker Sports Talk host can't hide. Now back to the Doug Stewart Show.
That's right, Sucker Sports Talk host can't hide. Thank you for tuning in to the Doug Stewart Show. I really appreciate your patronage and telling people about it. That's big. That's huge. Yes, tell people about the livest, most interactive show on radio, online, wherever you want to call it. And the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me, doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. If you're a company out there that wants to get down with the show that's on the cutting edge of doing big things, yes, email your boy, doug@thedougsstewartshow.com, and let's do some business. Right now is what they call the ground floor. Today will make the last show in the first 2 weeks, the inaugural 2 weeks of the Doug Stewart Show. So, we're doing it around here. Holla at me. Email me, doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. I would love to work with you. I'd love to partner with your company in promoting your brand, your product, whatever. That's what we're doing around here. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can chat with your boy on Spreaker.com, as well as you can hit me up on Twitter. And my name on Twitter is The Doug Stewart Show, as well as on Instagram. Here's a couple of messages on the chat on Spreaker. It says, Fred, from Fred Mack, he says, how about the wishbone as well, the formation? I hate all of the spread stuff too. From Fred as well. Pros too. That's why running backs are not as valued as they are anymore. And if you're just catching the show earlier, when we first came on, I had a little, I guess you'd call it a rant, and saying that I was happy that Oregon lost last night because they're kind of one of those signature spread formation running teams. And Chip Kelly made it popular. And I think everybody follows suit now. It's dynamic because you score a ton of points. But it's lame to me right now. It's damn near almost kind of like trickery, you know? And I guess you can't stop progress, and you have to score more points these days, but I yearn for the days. I yearn for the days where you talk about an I formation, and you talk about a I backfield with a fullback and a tailback, and, you know, a tight end, and you do play action. That stuff still would work today. And I'm sure there's some teams that still run that majority, but the majority of the teams in college in particular are running the spread offense. If you look at the last couple of years in general, if you look at the quarterbacks that have been drafted high, you know, I mentioned Christian Ponder, who sucks, who played last night for Minnesota. You know, he came out of Florida State, and that's what they're doing down there. You know, they're running that spread offense. Look at Cam Newton coming out of Auburn. That's what they do down there. Look at Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. They're even doing it now at Alabama. And when you think Alabama football, am I lying? When you think Alabama football, you think student body left, student body right. You think about toss sweeps, you know? You don't think about all of this spread, 4 and 5 wide receivers and cross buck plays, this, that, and the other, and a single back standing up next to the quarterback. And then you throw in that pistol formation that they do at Nevada, where Colin Kaepernick made famous. They're doing that too. I guess I'm just an old curmudgeon, and I am. That's fine. But I really wish that we'd see somebody, because what would happen now, let me tell you this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, what would happen now if somebody rolled out with jumbo personnel? And when I say jumbo personnel, I'm talking about 2 tight ends, 2 big blocking tight ends that could catch the ball a little bit, but their main purpose is to block. If you rolled out 2 big tight ends and pulled out a wishbone formation with 2 big eye backs and a blocking fullback like the strong kid that used to play many years in the NFL and crush people, you know what happened? you know what would happen? They would destroy most teams in college football right now. And I know you're saying you're crazy. No, they probably would. You know why? Because most teams right now are recruiting defensive personnel to stop the spread. So you got these small linebackers. You got finesse players on defense. You're recruiting a lot of defensive backs because you have to match up with a bunch of wide receivers and the offenses that everybody's running. Think about it now. Think about it. And these things go in phases. Okay, so at some point somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to roll out a wishbone formation, or kind of the triple option, more so with better personnel like they're doing at Georgia Tech. Not as good, not the greatest example. But if somebody rolls out a package with big people on offense and run the ball down the throats of these teams for the last couple of years who have been recruiting smaller, quicker, finesse players, I promise you'd have success. I promise you'd have success. They even running the spread, I think, in Nebraska right now with the Abdullah kid, So it works, but be different, Try something different, Catch somebody slipping. Once again, because you would catch teams slipping if you rolled out an offense like that because they ain't ready. As everybody's geared up right now to stop passing attacks. I promise you. Student body left, student body right with Herschel Walker. With Bo Jackson, that's what they used to do. And the kid, his name escapes me right now. Todd Gurley would be fantastic in an offense like that. And the kid from Tennessee, his name escapes me right now. I think it's Hurd, the freshman, redshirt freshman running back for Tennessee. He's going to be a beast. 6'3", 220-pound running backs, Eddie George type running backs. That would kill teams now because they ain't ready. They are not ready. You got basically strong safety size players playing middle linebacker now because they have to be fast. They have to be able to cover a running back out of the backfield, So it's not the run stuffing, brute defensive linebackers of yesteryear like Levon Kirkland. Levon Kirkland, he would definitely be playing defensive tackle now if he was a high school player coming into college. You know what I'm talking about. So it's just a different game right now, but I hate it. The good for Oregon losing last night. Now their national championships dreams are dashed. That's that old school phrase. Their dreams are dashed. All because of Arizona. Arizona's doing a good job as well. As a matter of fact, I've been talking negative Oregon, but let's give a little bit of props to Rich Rodriguez and the Arizona Wildcats. They're trying to get back a little bit of Desert Storm. Looked good last night. I saw Teddy Bruschi this morning on ESPN on the Puppet Factory bragging about Arizona. So, are they for real? I think you got to say they're for real if you go on the road to Eugene, Oregon and beat the Oregon Ducks who put up 40, 50 points a week. I think you got to start saying that Arizona is for real. Rich Rodriguez is another one of the architects of the spread offense. Did you know Rich Rodriguez started out as a offensive coordinator at Clemson? You know who his quarterback was? One of the original guys with the spread offense, Woody Dantzler. Yes. So all of this stuff connects. And the greatest architect of the spread offense, Rich Rodriguez, yes, he's got those boys going. You know what he did at West Virginia. And he's got Arizona following suit. Okay? So we'll see what happens. But good win for Arizona last night. Georgia takes on Vandy this weekend. As I mentioned earlier, you know about Todd Gurley. He's on his run right now trying to win a Heisman Trophy. And right now, I think most people say that he's in the lead. I think before last night, you'd say that Marcus Mariota was second behind him. But I don't think so now. He's lost a lot of steps, a lot of ground as far as the Heisman Trophy. And then you talk about Kenny Trill Hill in Texas A&M. He's not getting enough talk either, I don't think. I definitely don't think he's getting enough talk. So, yeah, Marcus Mariota lost his bid, I think, last night, right now, unless he just goes crazy and does all of this crazy stuff and has a ton of success going forth in these last couple of games. I think he's done. I think right now, because Mariota had a horrible game last night, and it's Mariota, unless Gurley just has a horrible couple of games and Georgia loses games, right now Todd Gurley's in the lead. He's definitely in the lead right now for this Heisman Trophy, and he should add upon his lead this coming weekend against Vandy. You better believe that. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, We'll talk some NFL games. This is a football Friday. So we talking football, college, pro. We'll get a little bit more into Georgia Tech and Georgia. We'll talk about the Falcons. Whatever your team is, wherever you live at. I don't care where you are. If you're in Alaska and you're a Raider fan, or you root for, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you live in North Carolina, you can call the show. Let's talk about your team as well. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome to Atlanta, my SC State Bulldog family. Once again, your boy Stu is throwing the biggest party of the year, October 3rd, 2014, in honor of the classic game being played in Atlanta that Saturday. It's only for the grown and sexy, though. The party will be held in the Georgia Ballroom in the Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 590 West Peachtree Street, Northwest ATL, starting at 10 p.m. Atlanta's own DJ Cowboy playing all the old school hits. You know how he do. It's going to be crazy. Last year at Asia, 4 years ago at Shout, this year at the Crown Plaza, bananas! Advance tickets are $20 for a limited time, so get yours at theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. Last year, over 1,000 people kicked it hard in ATL with your boy. And to quote the great Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. See you in Atlanta. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company, but they understand how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so that they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, TheDougStewartShow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play when and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season.
Way better than the 0-16 Detroit Lions. It's Doug Stewart.
Much better than those 0-16 Detroit Lions. Shouts out to my Detroit Lion family and friends. You know, my brother played for the Lions, so I had many years up there in the D. And Detroit's a different city. Detroit is a different city. It looks much better than when Ryan Evan played there, but after the Super Bowl, they did all of these improvements to the city and this, that, and the other, but it was kind of like a facade. Yes, we found out later. We actually did the show live from Detroit during the week of the Super Bowl, whatever year that was. We found out after the fact, and I don't think Kwame Kilpatrick was the mayor at that time. He may have been. I think he was. But anyway, we found out after the fact that they gave all of the bums and the homeless people one-way tickets to hell out of the city. Yes, one-way tickets. So if your city saw an increase population of bums, it was because of Detroit. Yes, but because before the Super Bowl, it was the capital of homeless person USA. And then right after it, and during it and right after the Super Bowl, it was nice and pristine, but it was a facade. They shipped everybody out. All right, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. The number is 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. Make sure you download the Spreaker app on your phone. You don't have to be propped up in front of your computer to listen to the show. You can download the Spreaker app and listen to the Doug Stewart Show live Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. Continue to tell people and pass the word. You can also go to my webpage, my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and listen to the show live as well. Check out some of the great companies that I'm partnering with as well, and do it that way. So it's all kind of ways to listen to the show and pass the love and give some of this love of the Doug Stewart Show. I'm going to read a couple of messages here from Spreaker.com from That Ninja. He says, student body left and right will get your ass whooped. Auburn led the nation in rushing, not a finesse offense. I disagree. Auburn is the epitome of a finesse offense, okay? And pretty much a finesse offense to me is if your quarterback is in a shotgun 90% of the times, that's a finesse offense. If you got the majority of the time 3 to 4 wide receivers, sometimes 5, that's a finesse offense. If your running back is standing up next to your quarterback, that's a finesse offense, That Ninja, in my opinion. I'm old school, okay? And they do score. They're getting a lot of these teams are getting a lot of rushing yards. Oregon gets a lot of rushing yards with this spread offense. That's not the thing, but I'm talking about the manner in which they get them. It's finesse. It's the epitome of finesse. Here comes a message from Fred Mack on the chat on Spreaker.com. He says, from about 1973 to 1987, Heisman winners won 95% of the time were running backs. Now, mostly quarterbacks because of this spread. And you're exactly right. And also, you know why? Another reason, and I'm going to keep it real, that I don't like the spread, that I'm an old school curmudgeon about the spread offense, is because I played the position my entire life. And what it does is it diminishes my running back brethren. And he's exactly right. Fred is exactly right. It diminishes the value. Look at where running backs, there's been a couple of drafts where running backs weren't taken in the first round. What? That's a far cry from, when Barry Sanders came out of college and O.J. Simpson came out of USC and Billy Sims and Herschel Walker. I mean, it's just different now. And like I said, I might be old school and I might be a crab talking about all of this stuff and I got to get with the times, but damn it, I don't have to like it. You can't tell me what I need to like, okay? And I'm not the only one. I'm telling you I'm not the only one that hates this. Yeah. And I'm not going to stop watching college football. I love college football and I love the passion of the sport. But don't tell me it's not finesse. It damn sure is finesse. It is. And we're going to see more and more of it, man. We're going to see when teams like Oregon make it to a national championship, a team that never historically has been able to win against the traditional historical teams like a Michigan and like a Texas, like Oklahoma and Florida or Alabama and Auburn. If you're not able to beat those teams, you have to employ something like this to try to even the odds. I get that, but damn it, I don't have to like it. So Todd Gurley takes on the Vanderbilt Commodores this weekend. Georgia's 3-1, Vanderbilt's 1-4. You know what Gurley did last week? He had a huge game against Tennessee and broke a long 51-yarder against the Volunteers. Georgia got off to a winning start as it began a stretch of 7 straight league games and regained control of its own destiny in the Eastern Division because South Carolina lost to Missouri last week. So Georgia's back in this thing, and Mark Richt always is calm, cool, and collected under pressure. And when they lost to South Carolina, he says, let's go, okay, we're not out of this thing, as Mark Richt always does. So Georgia's back in this thing, while Gurley and his freshman backups Nick Chubb and Sony Michel have led an impressive running game that is averaging about 300 yards a game. Here's the problem with Georgia right now. Hudson Mason has just not been that electric. He hadn't thrown for over 200 yards yet in one of these games. So at some point, you're going to have to be able to put the ball up just a little bit. Now, I love the way they use Gurley. And Gurley is getting his yards. And I gave the conversation earlier about how much running backs used to be valued back in the day. And now it's a big difference. Gurley is that dude. Gurley can play tailback. Gurley can play a true tailback, an I formation back. Love his game. So you're going to see what happens now with Vanderbilt this weekend. Vanderbilt rallied from 13 down and 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter for a 31-27 victory over Georgia last year. So you gotta guard against this team. It's still an SEC team, and they're kind of like in transition right now because they lost James Franklin. But you got to watch out. You can't take anybody for granted, all right? Miami coming to Atlanta this weekend, taking on Georgia Tech. Miami 3-2. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are 4-0. Miami has won the last 5 meetings between these two teams. I would have never thought that. And, I'm a Miami fan. I've rooted for the Miami Hurricanes ever since they were the crazy, wild Miami Hurricane team back in the day. Miami heads up to Georgia Tech 4-0 this week, and they're looking to tie the series 10 games apiece. So Georgia Tech's trying to tie it. So right now, Miami has a 1-game advantage on them. The Canes have gone up against a potent running back once this year because that's what they're going to get a ton of in Georgia Tech with that triple option, and against Nebraska. And Nebraska just ran all through Miami in their game they played earlier this year. You know about the running back Amir Abdullah, who is a guy they're talking about kind of sideways about a Heisman Trophy as well. So that's the only real team that they've seen, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. That's one of the only real teams that they can kind of measure themselves against as far as how they stop the run, because Paul Johnson going to run the ball up and down the field. Georgia, going off of last week's game against Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech was able to rack up 250 yards and 5 yards a carry. Not bad against a top 25 defense. Their offense, is led by quarterback Justin Thomas. That young man, I like that young man because he kind of reminds me of a better Reggie Ball. No disrespect to Reggie Ball, but it seems like a little bit more polished than Reggie Ball. They have the same stature and much less of a quarterback than the great Joe Hamilton. So Georgia Tech's had a run of these quarterbacks, 5'11", 5'10", athletic, that can also throw the ball and run this type of offense. In particular, the triple option that Paul likes to run, that Paul Johnson likes to run down there at the flats. And also this weekend, in Georgia football talk, the Atlanta Falcons, they travel on the road to take on the New York Football Giants. Yes, the Giants are seeking a 3rd straight win Sunday as they host the Falcons. Falcons are 2-2. Both teams are 2-2. Atlanta is the NFC's highest scoring team with 32 points per game and 444 yards per game. And we know that's what the Falcons do, is they pass the ball. They spread it out. They've got probably the best trio of receivers, top to bottom, in the league. I remember the Falcons went up there a couple of years ago, though, in that playoff game and got destroyed, 24-2. So last meeting, the Falcons won 34-0 in 2012, but you know what happened. They dropped their last visit to MetLife Stadium in that playoff game I just talked about, 24-2. So you want to see the Falcons go up there and have a test against a good team. They're kind of like hot and cold, if you're talking about the Falcons. They're kind of hot and cold where they look great one week against Tampa Bay, and then they suck against the Vikings or against the Cincinnati Bengals. So you got to see what team is going to show up this weekend. I think this is going to be a great test. The Giants have pretty much caught their stride over the last couple of games as well with a new coordinator. So Eli's looking pretty good, and that Giants team is kind of rolling. So we're going to see what the Falcons do on the road this week. Falcons got a lot of issues with injuries. You know about all the injuries they got coming out of last week's game where, just everybody and their mama got nicked up. They lost center Joe Hawley with a knee, Lamar Holmes with a foot. Both of them season-ending injuries. So Gabe Karimi will start at right tackle and Peter Kahns at center. You know about Peter Kahns, really hadn't lived up to his billing as a first-round pick of the Falcons a couple of years ago. So hopefully he can be re-energized and have a good outing. And have a real good outing on the road. This is where you earn your money, Playboy. This is where you earn your money. You have to come up big when the team needs you. You pretty much have been a bust at this point. I don't want to call him a bust, but Kahns has not been the guy that the Falcons thought they were getting when they drafted him, okay? So the number is 404-382-0338. I got a couple of more messages here on my chat line. This comes from Scotty. He says, Rich Rodriguez is a good coach. I bet Michigan wish they were 5-0 right now. It's a very good point. Don't forget, when Rich Rodriguez left West Virginia, he had a short little detour in Michigan. And I think that the culture of what Rich Rodriguez didn't gel well at that time with Michigan. Once again, that spread. And I mentioned them earlier. One of these historic teams that we know about that use great running backs like Tyrone Wheatley. Who else? Tim Biaka-Batuka. You remember? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I remember Timmy Biaki-Batuka, former Carolina Panther. Yeah, so they've always had a stable of running backs where they pound the football, and it just didn't jive up there with Rich Rodriguez at Michigan. And so now he's got another opportunity. Once you've been dubbed one of those offensive geniuses, you're going to get a job. And so subsequently, right after he was done in Michigan, got this job in Arizona. June Jones, same thing. When you're known as an offensive guru, you get jobs, okay? Plain and simple, because if you can score, you can stay in games, and that's kind of what you've seen with the Falcons. The Falcons are going to be able to stay in games. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be able to stay in games. Where you take it to the next level, though, is when you're able to stop teams and do both of them pretty well. And so that's right now what they got going on at Michigan. They are struggling right now, and I don't know what the hell you'd call Brady Hope a genius at. Nothing. He's not a genius at nothing. That's why he's going to be on his ear in a couple of weeks when the season is over. Yeah. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. A little bit later in today's show, the funnest show, the most interactive show online. A little bit later in today's show, we're going to talk to Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy. You don't want to miss that. All right? So pass the word. Tell 2 people. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. The Doug Stewart Show, all one word. And come on back and keep it locked. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome to Atlanta, my SC State Bulldog family. Once again, your boy Stu is throwing the biggest party of the year, October 3rd, 2014, in honor of the classic game being played in Atlanta that Saturday. It's only for the grown and sexy, though. The party will be held in the Georgia Ballroom in the Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 590 West Peachtree Street, Northwest ATL, starting at 10 p.m. Atlanta's own DJ Cowboy playing all the old school hits. You know how he do. It's going to be crazy. Last year at Asia, 4 years ago at Shout, this year at the Crown Plaza, bananas! Advance tickets are $20 for a limited time, so get yours at theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. Last year, over 1,000 people kicked it hard at ATL with your boy. And to quote the great Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. See you in Atlanta. This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on thedugstewartshow.com or the app link for details. Welcome to Atlanta, my SC State Bulldog family. Once again, your boy Stu is throwing the biggest party of the year, October 3rd, 2014, in honor of the classic game being played in Atlanta that Saturday. It's only for the grown and sexy, though. The party will be held in the Georgia Ballroom in the Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 590 West Peachtree Street, Northwest ATL, starting at 10 p.m. Atlanta's own DJ Cowboy playing all the old school hits. You know how he do. It's going to be crazy. Last year at Asia, 4 years ago at Shout, this year at the Crown Plaza. Bananas! Advance tickets are $20 for a limited time, so get yours at theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. Last year, over 1,000 people kicked it hard at ATL with your boy. And to quote the great Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. See you in Atlanta. This is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live and in effect from the ATL. Thank you for joining me. Continue to pass the word on the show and tell people we're having a lot of fun around here. And speaking of fun, it's a fun Friday. It's a football Friday too, but it's a fun Friday. So a little bit later in today's show, we're going to talk to the great Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy. You don't want to miss that. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Talking about this football, whatever football you want to talk about. And I also definitely check you out on tweets and on chat on Spreaker.com. This segment of the show is brought to you by Join 7. Join 7 is a protection group that can help you against life's little mishaps. Go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're getting into everything from this past weekend or this coming weekend coming up. As a matter of fact, a little bit later, we're going to kind of preview all of the big games in college football briefly, as well as the NFL. So stay tuned for that. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In 1 second, but after I read a couple of these tweets and a couple of these messages on my chat line on Spreaker.com, I'm going to talk to you about Aaron Hernandez. And if you don't know the latest on Aaron Hernandez, you got to stay tuned because I think Aaron Hernandez is going to beat this thing. Yes! I think he's going to beat this thing. But hold on, we'll talk about that in a second. Here's a tweet from Third Eye Guy. He says, "Thank you, Arizona. Oregon loses every damn year to someone they shouldn't and still are highly ranked every year." Shaking my head. And I agree with you, Third Eye Guy. You're exactly right. Oregon's production doesn't match their hype. It doesn't. I mean, they got their opportunity in the national championship, got pounded by Auburn. And that year they went to the national championship, they were scoring like 50, 60 points a week. And then it came to a sudden halt, when they played up against a physical defense from the SEC. And then now, this last night at home, they lose against Arizona. So, yes, I agree 100%. Their hype does not match their production. They win a lot of games because they're playing against a lot of sorry teams, a lot of whack-ass teams in that Pac-12 out there. Okay? And I'm not a Pac-12 hater. I respect the conference. Definitely respect USC. But, I mean, let's keep it real. You're playing against watered-down teams out there that really don't emphasize defense. And so, when somebody comes, it's like the bully mentality. Like, when Oregon sees that you're scared and, and they got you in your heels, and they just spread offense you to death, but as soon as they run against a team that'll hit them in the mouth like you do against a bully, you just hit a bully in the mouth and the bully's shocked usually, and the bully doesn't want anymore, so the bully just runs, and that's what happens with Oregon whenever they play against a team that puts an emphasis on defense. So last night it happened, and I'm happy. I, for one, am happy to see what happened to Oregon last night. Let's put this ish back into proper perspective, all right? It's football. And somebody hit me on the chat line on Spreaker.com and basically echoed my opinions and said also a factor in why, or a reason he doesn't like college football and pro football as much as back in the day is because he was a defensive player and you can't touch anybody anymore. You can't hit anybody because of all what's going on right now with concussions, and I understand to a degree. But that rule about hitting a defenseless receiver, what the hell is that all about? What the hell is that all about? Okay, so And now they're even doing it now. It seems like it's morphed into not just above the shoulders and the head. It's now if the guy doesn't see you, you shouldn't hit him. That's almost the way they're calling this thing now is if a wide receiver is coming across the middle and he doesn't have time to catch the ball and get you in his sights, you as a defensive player are almost supposed to just like surpass him, just like run by him because you're going to catch a flag. It's ridiculous. And I've seen it called the last couple of weeks. It's just crazy, man, and I hate it. I hate the way they're calling these games now, man. But guess what? We're going to see a lot more of it. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. I promise you that. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. Let's talk. Let me grab this message right now on Spreaker.com. It's from Roderick. He said, I heard Stephen A. talking about keeping real at the 4-letter network, but when he got up the other day, he had 2 white gloves hanging from his ass. All right, you said that, sir. Roderick, I appreciate the post on Spreaker.com. Spreaker.com is where you can chat with your boy. And Roderick said, I heard Stephen A. talking about keeping it real at the 4-letter network the other day, which I call the Puppet Factory. Okay, if you get the he says, but when he got up the other day, he had 2 white gloves hanging from his ass. All right, you said that. And listen, everybody at the Puppet Factory doesn't adhere to Puppet Factory rules. Let me just say this. Not everybody is included in that conversation. Not everybody. But a lot of them are puppets up there. Okay? They are. I mean, let's just keep it real. I mean, I can keep it real on this show. This is my damn show. I'm the program director. I'm the owner, the program director, the assistant program director. I'm the guy that takes the calls. I do all of that. I don't really take calls, but you know what I mean. I do it all. And so, yeah. So Roderick thinks that Stephen A. is being controlled as well as far as what he says. That's your opinion, sir. I didn't say that. I love Stephen A. That's my folk. But there are many, many puppets up there. Okay? But let me tell you quickly about this story. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is for, and 9 times out of 10, what we're doing here is offering a service. We're talking about what people are talking about. And we just regurgitate it. And we get your calls and we talk about it on our social networks. But you can find this information, and most of you, if you're propped up in front of a computer or you jump on your phone, your smartphone, and get all of the news of the day, you probably heard about this story. But a lot of people are driving around in their trucks and they're listening to satellite radio where there's no commercials and they don't talk a lot. Aaron Hernandez is in the news. A judge has thrown out as evidence bullets found in an apartment rented by ex-New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez and a magazine found in his Hummer, saying police didn't demonstrate probable cause for the searches. Yes, Judge Susan Garsh ruled Thursday in Fall River Superior Court. Prosecutors had previously indicated they wouldn't oppose the defense's effort to keep the items out, but provided little explanation. And so basically, in a nutshell, what they're saying is there was no reason at all at that point to search this man things. Yes. And I assume they got a search warrant, but I guess he's kind of overruling that judge's admittance or allowing of search and seizure of Aaron Hernandez's house and vehicle. I mean, let me ask you, hit me on Twitter, hit me on the chat line on Spreaker. Does it feel like Aaron Hernandez is going to beat this thing? Huh? Because that's the way it feels to me, is that he's going to beat this thing, that this guy, and listen, I always preach, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I always preach innocent until proven guilty. And from one man's point of view, Aaron Hernandez looks guilty as hell, but maybe he's not? Maybe we got this thing all wrong? Or is he guilty as hell and he's just going to walk? Because when you listen, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. Okay. I hate going into the courthouse. Okay. But to me, this evidence sounds like big evidence. This sounds like real deal evidence, not like something simple that you hear talked about in some of these celebrity cases. Something real similar that really doesn't affect the case. Yeah, the type of bullets that were used on these murders, on the type of gun, that type of bullets used that match up to the victims, and you throw it out? That sounds like huge news to me. I mean, it does. This sounds like huge news to me. So what are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Thank you for joining your boy. This is the Doug Stewart Show. And you can also email me, Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. So we got football going on this weekend. Aaron Hernandez is in the news. I mean, golly. I think Aaron Hernandez might beat this thing, which is crazy to me with all of the evidence that seems stacked up against him. And, this is why a lot of people have, a bad attitude towards attorneys, because this is a technicality. If you were just to talk about the facts and everything you had, I mean, the guy's guilty as hell. It appears to be. Once again, we may not be right. But this is why people have, they feel some type of way about attorneys, because this just seems slimy, that the prosecution was able to get this thrown out. Or the defense, I'm sorry, was able to get this thrown out. And because of it, it might be a major factor in why a murderer is going to walk free. And once again, if the man goes free and, a jury says that he goes free based on the evidence and the way our court system works, it is what it is. It is what it is, but it doesn't look like he's innocent. It doesn't. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we talk about everything that happened from last night, some big games in college football. Oregon gets shown the door. We'll talk a little bit of baseball, mention those scores as well, and take your phone calls. The Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current meta file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedugstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
Now back to the realest man on earth, Doug Stewart.
That's right, the realest, trillest man on radio and online. Talking about these sports, this is the Doug Stewart Show. Really appreciate you joining your boy. Really appreciate you joining your boy. You can hit me on Twitter at the Doug Stewart Show. We got this little chat going on Spreaker.com from Fred Mack. He says Hernandez is dumb, though. he would probably stab somebody in jail and get another case. Exactly right. I just talked about in the last segment where Aaron Hernandez and his attorneys got some real big evidence thrown out. Some bullets that were found in his car and in his house. So that's crucial. This dude might walk. And here's one from Vernon. He says, maybe the people that's working the case are bloods like he is. So I guess he's kind of insinuating that Aaron Hernandez is part of this gang and notorious bloods. And maybe they're helping him out. Here's one from Kennedy. He says, good point, Fred Mack, but Ronnie Lott isn't dead. Doug Fred killing people just like Ryan used to do. Also, Doug, can you bring back the EOD, the elbow of death? We're just going to have to do my mouth sound effects until I can get that going back on this show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for all of your comments, your tweets, and what have you. And I guess what Kennedy was talking about is Fred Mack said earlier in the chat room on Spreaker.com that the great Ronnie Lott is turning over in his grave. And you know good and well Ronnie Lott ain't dead, man. Stop saying that. Stop wishing death on that man. And Ryan used to do it all the time back in the day. I think I used to do it too. It might have something to do with his post-concussion syndrome talk. But so, yeah, Ryan used to kill off people all the time, and they were still alive. Stop saying that man dead. They're not dead, all right? But, yeah, Ronnie Lott is not dead. But we get the point you're trying to make is, you know, ferocious hitters and guys that play defense the way that is supposed to be played, the Greg Lloyds of the world, the Lawrence Taylors of the world, the Ronnie Lotts of the world, they're turning over in their metaphorically named grave. That's what we're talking about. Yes, they are. They're figurative grave. Yes. And so the way football is today, man, it's not as good. It's not good at all. I mean, I got to be quite honest with you. I got to be frank about this thing. Some of the calls these guys make in the NFL right now, these officials make, are just blasphemous. They're ridiculous. I mean, seriously. The real guys in their grave, the great Dick Butkus, and no, Dick Butkus isn't dead either. The great Alan Page. No, I don't think Alan Page is dead either. Let me find some dead people. Oh, the great Deacon Jones. He's definitely turning over in his grave right now. The great Reggie White. And I'm pointing my finger in the air right now. The great Reggie White is turning over in his grave right now. With the way they call these football games, man. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Speaking of Stephen A. Smith, I'm doing a Stephen A. Smith face right now. It's disgusting. Oh, New York or Brooklyn or wherever the hell Stephen A.'s from. It's disgusting. I mean, it's pathetic the way they call these games, man, and I hate it. And last night, one of the teams, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this segment is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. And check out my folks at 911 Tax Relief by going on the Doug Stewart Show website and clicking on their banner link. But one of the teams that are responsible for all of this finesse stuff and difference in the way we play football today is Oregon. And they lost last night at home. The number 2 team in the country got the beat down and some big plays by Arizona. The Wildcats 31-24. And so Marcus Mariota, I think his Heisman dreams are dashed. Oregon had a shot to be in this Final Four in this new playoff system, but that's definitely one thing I don't like about this new playoff system, or I don't think is good. Let me say that. I absolutely, just like everybody else that loves college football, I love the fact that we're going to settle this thing on the field for the most part in a 14 playoff. But one negative, like collateral damage type thing about this new playoff system is if you lose one time, it's over. It's pretty much over because there are going to be a couple of teams that are probably going to go undefeated. So it's pretty much over if you lose a game. So Oregon, they might have just had a bad night or whatsoever. And I've always liked the fact that, you know, you can lose a game early in the season and run the table from there forth and still find your way in the national championship. You know why I liked it? Because teams get better over a season. You know, you're not going to be as good of a team as you are in week 12 of college football as you are in week 1 or 2. So if you have some mishaps early, I like the fact that you used to be able to come back and turn things around and make it to a national championship game, or and I guess theoretically Oregon has a chance. I don't wish so for their case because I'm not a fan of what they do there. And I mentioned that earlier, but that seems like one negative aspect of the fact on this new playoff system, that pretty much if you lose, you're done. And I think it probably gets into the psyche of a lot of these kids, and they know it. And I don't think they're going to play as hard and as invigorated as if they were undefeated, because in the back of their mind, subconsciously, they probably feel like we don't have a shot to play in the Final Four anyway, And you'd hope that's not the thinking, but I think that subconsciously it probably is to a degree. I really do. Let's go ahead and grab a call. Let's talk to, who do we got on the line? We got Triple Digit. Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What you got, Triple Digit?
What's up, Dave?
How you doing, baby?
Friday. I'm awesome. It's, ready for the weekend. But the great Sean Taylor would be turning in his grave. He is turning in his grave right now.
Yes.
I mean, he could not play the way they're playing right now. He would have to retire, like the guy said. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Brandon Merriweather tries to play like he does. I mean, a little cheap and dirtier version of Sean Taylor, but he couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
If Sean Taylor was playing these ways.
I agree 100%. And Merriweather, now that's somebody that I will put in the classification of taking it too far with the headshots, and I don't know what his freaking problem is, but you're right. Sean Taylor, the great Sean Taylor, the Washington Redskins, former Miami Hurricane, it'd be tough for him to play in this game today, man.
Did you watch that Football Life on him?
I'm sorry?
Check it out. Did you watch the Football Life on him that they just aired?
No, and you know what? I've been so busy. I have not been. I got it on DVR because I have it set up to tape those.
I was feeding the little baby that's a month old or whatever. And I made him watch it. I mean, it was awesome. I didn't know what he was watching, but he was loving it.
He was loving it.
Like, yeah, come on, go hit him.
Right.
So, yeah, okay. I got a little Jorge and all that stuff now.
Right. Gotcha.
I'm messing around. Okay, I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. I got to get back to work, and we'll catch up next week.
Appreciate it. That's my man Triple Digit right there from D.C. And a little quick story on Triple Digit, because he's a long-time Two Live Stews listener, is the Stews used to do a yearly Madden football league. And over the years, it moved from PlayStation to Xbox. It's actually still being done right now. The commissioner is Big Reg, the commissioner. Shouts out to Big Reg. And Triple Digit was in the league, I think, the first year we played it. And Triple Digit lost, I think, his first Madden game in the Stews League in the triple digits. He lost like 100 and something to 7. And so from then forward, he was known as Triple Digit. Yes. So that's a little background on Triple Digit. He's actually called the show a couple times this week. Really, really appreciate the support and the love, Triple Digit. Thank you so much for joining your boys. Where's all the other dogs and poodles? Where is Sarah number 5? Vern from Jersey called a couple times throughout the show. Who else? Where's St. Louis Ron? I called him out yesterday. Where's Mike from Lost Mountain? Where is the Junkyard Rat? Where are the dogs and the poodles? It's a little bit different where this format that we're on, a lot of times, a lot of our old listeners, they were listening in their car. But here's the good thing about cars these days. Most of them have the little hookup with the USB where you can plug in your phone and listen to live shows. That's what I do. I listen to sports talk shows all over the country. If I want to find out what they're saying on those particular sports talk shows, if something happened big in their city, sports-wise, so I'll plug into the USB on my phone in the car, and I'll listen online. So that's what you should do, too, on Spreaker.com. Go to Spreaker.com and download the app, or go on the App Store and download the app and listen to the show as well. So there's all types of ways to listen to the Doug Stewart Show. Last night also, in the NFL, which these games on Thursday have been horrible, and last night was really no difference. One team usually dominates and another team usually takes the ass kicking. And so last night you saw the Green Bay Packers deliver an ass kicking to the Minnesota Vikings. And you have to think now, they win 42-10. And watching Christian Ponder, I think that was the final straw to seeing that he is not an NFL quarterback. He is just not. He looked horrible. And the weight of the franchise is on Teddy Bridgewater's shoulders because he looked fantastic last week in his first outing. And, just a couple of days later, the team just looks horrible. So is Teddy Bridgewater that much of a factor? And I think they're depending on him. I saw a ton of Bridgewater shirts in the stands last week when the Falcons went up to Minneapolis. So hopefully, I thought that he would be able to play this week, and most people thought that he would be able to play this week, but that's not the case. So we got to see what's going on with Teddy Bridgewater. Hopefully he can get back because the Vikings need him in the worst way. I mean, in the absolute worst way because they suck. They looked for like a pretty decent team last week to sucking. And then you might start to have the effect of having no Adrian Peterson as well. But the Packers look like they're getting things back on track. And the Vikings look like they're going to be 7-9, 6-10. Yeah. All right. So the number to the show is 404-382-0338. Do you have a company out there and you like for your brand to be talked about at a high level, not just in Atlanta, but worldwide, shawty? You need to jump on board with your boy right now on the Doug Stewart Show. We're doing big things around here. We're doing huge things around here. So email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do some business. All right? Let's do some business. Let's do some business. Hit your boy up. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll talk about some of the games going on this weekend in college football, some of the bigger games, and in the NFL, we will preview some of those, talk about them a little bit more, and we're going to talk to the most feared man in comedy. Henry Welsh is going to join us coming up, so you don't want to miss that. Welsh is off the chain. So we'll find out what he has going on. Big-time comedian here in the ATL, national comedian, been on a couple of those comedy TV shows, traveled abroad. Funny dude. The most feared man in comedy coming from Birmingham, Alabama. So we'll do that. Grab your calls, read your tweets, your texts, all of that stuff on the Doug Stewart Show. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone, running up my bill with that old hussy." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for details.
He's nobody's sports talk puppet. The Doug Stewart Show.
That's right. No puppetry around here. This is the Doug Stewart Show live live and in effect. Nah, we get crunk around here. I'm just a naturally crunk person in the first place. What happened to Crunk Juice? Y'all remember Crunk Juice? It was being promoted by Little John. We used to have a sponsorship deal with those guys. If you know anybody that works for Crunk Juice, if they're still in business, tell them to holler at the Doug Stewart Show. They used to have the real fly Crunk gear, hats, and jackets and shirts. Shouts out to Crunk Juice. I can't even remember my man's, we had a contact down there that used to be real live. I can't remember his name right now, but shouts out to those folks. As a matter of fact, if you are a company, energy drink, soda, anything, any kind of brand that applies to my demographic, people listening to this show, email your boy at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. doug@thedougstewartshow.com. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And this segment is brought to you by theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. That's where you go and get your tickets for tonight's party. Now, we've actually, and let me back up a little bit. There are no more tickets that you can get in advance. You can only get tickets at the door. I'm sorry to my partner in this thing this weekend. So you can't get tickets online anymore, but you can go get information about it. And the party is tonight at the Crown Plaza downtown. I think it's 590 West Peachtree Street, and centrally located. It's going to be crazy, man. I mean, we have sold so many tickets to this thing. Last year, we sold over 1,000 tickets, so we're right around that number right now. We'll get a lot of walk-ups tonight, so it's going to be crazy. Unbelievable. North Carolina A&T taking on South Carolina State tomorrow. And so that's what we're doing tonight to get things kicked off. It's kind of like the reunion party. It is. It's kind of like the reunion party because everybody and their mama's going to be there. It's like reunion ATL. You know, we have the real reunion at South Carolina State for homecoming. And I think homecoming this year is the first weekend in November. I think November 1st or something like that. But we kind of have a reunion home away from home. And we do it right here in the ATL, the biggest city in proximity to Orangeburg, South Carolina. So it's going to be big. And I think some people will probably say Charlotte, but you know what I mean. So a lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk to Henry Welsh, the most feared man in comedy. He's coming up in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned for that. But a lot of great games coming on this weekend. Let's run kind of through these pro games. Buffalo at Cleveland. That's not a good one. That's not a game that we're going to talk a lot about at all. As a matter of fact, let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about some of these college games. So last night you had Arizona taking on Oregon. You know the story of that. Arizona gets the big win, the big upset win, as they win 31-24. So that was a great game. Friday, you got some Mountain West games going on. Saturday, all right, let's look at some of the games slated for Saturday. The early game, the big game that everybody's talking about, you got Texas A&M taking on Mississippi State. That's right. ESPN's taking game day there, all right? Nobody tell ESPN that this was an error. Just roll with it. A&M is coming off a 35-28 overtime win against Arkansas, and you know that was a real barn burner where Texas A&M had to come back from behind. I think they were down by 21 points. Kenny Hill and Dak Prescott can boast of their Heisman resumes, and if the Bulldogs can come away with it, they will be on a short list of SEC West favorites. This game is on at noon, and usually a big game like that would come on a little bit later. So you're going to get a good matchup early in the day. That's kind of rare that you'd see that type thing. All right, in the middle of the day, you got number 3 Alabama and number 11 Ole Miss, and it's at 3:30 p.m. College game day is actually going there to the Grove, they call it, where the Rebels will face their first big test of the season, and it's a big test. You're talking about Alabama, and I mentioned them early, what Alabama's been doing recently. Alabama's been rolling over teams with that quarterback Sims and Lane Kiffin's the offensive coordinator, and he's got those guys doing, not traditional Alabama things. I mean, the Sims kid threw for like over 400 yards or something crazy last week. So Alabama, this ain't your daddy's Alabama. They're throwing the ball. They're airing it out. And so that's going to be a real good matchup. And when will we ever see Ole Miss be real? They're number 11 right now and probably off to one of their best starts in years. And everybody's looking and waiting for Ole Miss to be a real contender in the SEC. We'll see if they can if they can put up a good fight against Alabama this weekend. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And also this weekend, another big matchup, and around that 3:30 time, is Stanford at Notre Dame. All right, so you got Golson. The Golson kid is probably, Everett Golson is one of the guys they're mentioning in the Heisman Trophy. Most people are down on Notre Dame, thinking that they haven't played anybody yet. They haven't had any real test, and that they'll probably fold this weekend as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that game as well. The late games, here's the big games you're talking about. Number 15, LSU, and number 5, Auburn. That should be a good matchup. The SEC West Day in the Spotlight concludes with another top 15 matchup. LSU might be down, but it's also the only team that beat Auburn last year until the BCS Championship. And remember this now, LSU took that Auburn game by 14 points. If nothing else, LSU's John Chavis has his strategy for attacking Gus Malzahn's offense, and he knows it can work. So that's going to be a big game. And then you got Nebraska at Michigan State. So you're talking about Amir Abdullah, the running back, going up against that tough Michigan State defense. That's at 8 p.m. That's prime time. That's prime time. And then you also got Michigan-Rutgers later on as well. So I think the game of the week is obviously based on where they have it scheduled, is this Nebraska and Michigan State game. And I love watching games like that we don't traditionally get here on the East Coast. We are all SEC and usually ACC to a lesser degree. But when you get to see a good team like Nebraska, you know, they used to make their bones in the Big 12, and now they're in the Big 10. It's a good game. It's going to be interesting, something that you can sit down and watch with your peoples. Amir Abdullah, this is a guy that they're saying has a shot. He's also on that list. I think a little bit further behind Gurley and Hill. May have surpassed Mariota based on what they did last night. But this Amir Abdullah kid is a beast, okay? Old school running back. Big back, physical, runs downhill. So that's going to be an interesting game to look at, because Michigan State, their defense has been real hellacious over the last couple of years. Real hellacious. That's what they bring to the table, is defense. So those are some of the good games you got coming up this weekend. All right, 404-382-0338. And I love college football, and I don't know if I've said it recently on Twitter or on Facebook or anything where it pertains, but I like college football more than I like the pros. And the reason why I love college football more than I love the pros is because of the passion. You see, in the pros, a lot of times, to me, it seems like it turns to pretty much a situation where it's about the paycheck. In college, more so than ever, for most of those guys know they aren't going to play in the professional ranks. And so it's about the passion. A lot of these guys are legacy, their parents, or they grew up watching the program. And so their passion, their hearts are more into it when you talk about college football. And so I think that the passion you see in the fans, a lot of these teams are followed by people, the same families for generations and generations. So it's a lot more personal loyalty towards these teams than there are in the pros. In the pros, you get drafted by someone that you have no affiliation with, your family has no affiliation with, and it's a paycheck. They'll cut you at any minute, So it's just a different mentality when you're talking about the pros and you're talking about the colleges, all right? But I love college football, and it's sad to me a lot of times that you think about it, and right now we're damn near halfway through the season. And then you got to go another 6-7 months without any real deep college football talk, and I absolutely hate that. I hate when the season comes to an end. I hate that. I hate all of that. I hate you too. Yeah, from the hater on the Chappelle Show. A little reference. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we're going to talk to the most feared man in comedy, Henry Welsh. Yes, and find out what he's got going on, and do the damn thing. That's what we're going to do. We're going to, let Henry Welsh do his thing and find out what he's got going on, and, get his thoughts about his Falcons, because he lives here in Atlanta. And then we'll also get his thoughts on Alabama. I don't know. Is Henry Welsh an Auburn fan or an Alabama fan? I never asked him before. He's from Birmingham. So we'll see what he says about that. They got two big games this weekend, those two teams, as I just mentioned. So we'll talk to the most feared man in comedy, Henry Welsh, up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Keep it locked. Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougsstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougsstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, it's a football Friday. And a lot of good stuff going on this weekend. We got the Atlanta Classic coming to the ATL. What's going on in your town? What's going on in your city? Some big games in the pros and college football. We discussed those a little bit earlier for college. We'll hit up some of these big games in the NFL coming up here in a little while. But right now, man, we got some of my family on the line, some of my folk on the line. Comedian extraordinaire Henry Welsh joins the Doug Stewart Show. Henry Welsh, how you doing, bruh?
What's up, Doug? Welcome back, bro.
Man, thank you very much, Henry Welsh. Thank you very much. How you doing, folks?
You know what I do, man. I'm good. You know what I do.
Hey, Henry Welsh now is dubbed the most feared man in comedy. Welsh, what you got going on lately? You've been touring. Where you got? You always tweet and you always put it out there for the people that Henry Welsh is booked. What's Henry Welsh doing these days?
You know I'm booked, baby. You know I've been doing these dates with Mike Epps. Me and Big Boy from Outkast got a cartoon coming out when he wrap up his tour. So I have no complaints. My buddy Mike Epps getting ready to shoot a comedy special in D.C. next week, so I'm going to be out there with him doing that. You know, I'm just out here doing what I do, cutting commercials, hanging out. You know what I do, Stu. I'm the Frankie Beverly Mays of comedy. I'm booked.
Now, Welsh, tell me a little bit about this cartoon. That sounds live.
Yeah, I played like a dude named a Mexican dude named G. Wellington.
Like
I'm the dancing Mexican Michael Jackson. Every time you see me, I'm dancing and smiling. And Big Boy run like a little company, so we got to all report to him. He our boss. It's gonna be hilarious. One of the dudes from Breaking Bad gonna be in it too.
Right.
It's called Hot Atlanta Wax.
Right. Hot Atlanta Wax. That's what's up. We're talking to Henry Welsh right now, the most feared man in comedy on this funny Friday. All right, now Welsh, what's your comedy stuff sounding like today? Like, what are you really tripping off of these days in your comedy?
Obama letting anybody just get up in the president, the White House, the green room. Floyd Mayweather at a spelling bee. You know, it's so much to talk about right now.
What's the deal with Mayweather?
No, Mayweather can't read. He's a typical black dude. As soon as he gets some money, he go put a check on Instagram. You don't know what the check says. You know, he's talking about that. Somebody gonna tell you, man, he shouldn't have to read. He's rich. That might be the most dominant thing I heard.
You're exactly right.
He know how to read more because he's supposed to be a billionaire.
Right.
Come on, man. We talking about him. You know, we talking about Young Thug, Cool Running grandson. You know, it's so much to talk about right now. He's bowling.
Now,
you know, we got it's everything. Student, he's sorry, football games. You know, I got plenty to talk about.
Hey, Welsh, back up a little second to this Young Thug guy, man. And I swear to God, I was about to tweet it last week. I love the little sound that they have out now. What's it called? What's it called? It's something. It's like the little hot songs right now. But I don't understand a damn thing this Young Thug is saying.
You were late for school. Your mom said, "Get up, Young Thug." And that's a hit.
It's a hit.
That's a hit record.
What's going on with this music this day and time, man?
I don't know. Chris Brown want to be a thug. He supposed to be an R&B singer. Come on, boy, stop it. You
right.
Out here acting foolish.
Lifestyle is the name of that song.
And anybody, he in jail. He put a new album out every other day.
Who was that?
Gucci Mane. I don't know who his producer is, but he got a new album dropping every day. For him to be this popular, he put out more music than anybody that's free.
You exactly right, Welsh.
I just had the biggest weekend in the world, though, Doug. I was with the Outkast boys for 3 nights in a row.
Oh my gosh! Now we know you down with Big Boy like in a big way. So you were in backstage with these guys this weekend. How was that, Welsh?
Oh, it was incredible. The backstage, the dinner, the food, the after parties, the women. All I can say is God is great. Thank God I'm an Outkast.
Talking to Henry Welsh right now, the Doug Stewart Show on this throwback or this Football Friday and a Funny Friday as well. Thank God. God is good. I can only imagine how crazy that is. One thing I will say about Atlanta, Welsh, is that Atlanta shows its own major love. So I can only imagine how it was for Outkast.
Oh, my. It's like they had a police escort every night, to and from the show. The life.
Wow.
I've never seen that. They had a police escort every night.
That's crazy.
No problem.
Wow. All right, Welsh. Well, thank you for coming on. Welsh, let me ask you this question. You're from Alabama. You're from Birmingham. You're from Beham.
Oh.
Now, explain to me how it works based on the part of state you're from, on whether you root for Alabama or Auburn. They both have big games this weekend. Is Henry Welsh an Alabama or an Auburn fan, and why?
Come on, man. Cornelius Bennett, my boy. Bobby Humphrey, Roll Tide all day.
Roll Tide.
My niece will still go to Alabama right now, so we rolling Tide all day. Alabama State, where I graduated from, and we rolling Tide. That's it.
Right. Okay. All right. So Alabama State people, they root for Alabama for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Auburn people, the A&M people root for Auburn. That's how it go.
Oh, okay. All right. We're finishing up with Henry Welsh right now on the Doug Stewart Show. Got to get your thoughts on the Falcons, man. What do you think about the Falcons? They travel to New York this weekend. What you jonesing about with the Falcons?
I love Devin Hester. I love Roddy White, even though he can drop in the ball. I knew he was going to drop the ball this past Sunday because I saw him drop his plate at Biggie D's the other day. So I'm like, he's having a problem with his hand. Julio Jones is a beast, so ain't nothing they can do. The defense, we ain't even worry about it.
Right.
We can lose, we can win. Because I think we can win 60-58. I just love the offense. The defense, I don't know what we got out there.
Right.
Might well sign Cool Running or something like
You know how to hit 3 tackles, dog. Look at the other run. I say, what's happening? It's Cool Running. I got an apple party. Call me.
Now, people are laughing and tripping about what my man Henry Welsh is talking about. It's a guy, and I swear to God, it's a guy named Cool Runnings. And Cool Runnings is like a strip club proprietor. That's his title.
He's a promoter at the strip club. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's a promoter at the strip clubs. And how does Cool Runnings talk, Henry Welsh?
Hey, look here, Doug Stewart. I need you and your brother Ryan to come to the club. It's going to be off the chain. Everybody's here. Well, I knew. He's Stewart. Come on through.
Henry Welsh, thank you so much for your time, brother, man. Good luck to you. Where you headed to next? Where's your next stop?
My next stop is in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Well, tomorrow I'm in Hampton, Virginia with my buddy Mike Epps. And next week, Fort Walton Beach, Washington, D.C. We're not playing. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at King Henry Welsh. I'm booked.
He's booked. There he is. Henry Welsh right there on the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much, Henry Welsh. That dude is booked. Opens up for Mike Epps. He's been opening up for Mike Epps probably for 5 or 6 years, because I remember they came to Atlanta about that amount of time ago and performed at the Fox downtown, and Henry Welsh was with them then. So Mike Epps doing big things, and Henry Welsh is right there with them Follow Henry Welsh on Instagram. He has me laughing every single day. And that's from Kennedy McFarland on my chat group on Spreaker.com. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And yeah, I 100% believe that. I don't know too many places that show more love to their own than the ATL. And I know Atlanta sports fans get a bad rap as far as supporting the teams, but part of that problem, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, part of the problem that people don't really take into account from somewhere else is that a lot of times over the years, how can I put this? Our team sucks, and I'm holding 2 thumbs down. Yes, if you could see me, you'd see thumbs down, pointed down. A lot of times our teams suck. It's not that we don't support them. You got the factor in there as well as a lot of people are from other places. It's a transient city, and the teams and the organizations haven't been good for a long period of time, for a majority of the time. And so a lot of times that's the reason why you don't see the support for teams that do have a good run. But as far as other things, as far as the entertainment industry, like any rapper, any singer from the ATL, they get so much love. Yes, they do. I mean, you can go all the way back. If Raheem the Dream performs right now, it's going to be packed. It's going to be crunk. Okay, if Tag Team back again, if those guys were to perform right now, they're going to get much love. The hip hop industry, the entertainment industry in this city is going to support. So you can only imagine what it was like last weekend when Outkast on their reunion tour teamed up and did 3 shows. I believe they did 3 shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last weekend. And you saw the pictures. You can go online and see the pictures of the crowds out there. And, because Outkast really, for the most part, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and you can talk about some of those old school rappers with the booty shake type music way back in the day. But as far as gaining respect for a city that had much talent as far as hip hop, I think Outkast was really that group that kind of like took Atlanta over the top. And now everybody and their mama want to move to Atlanta. Okay, everybody and their mama want to move to Atlanta to be a part of and touch people that are in directly in the entertainment industry, especially the hip hop industry. And so Atlanta is like right up there, right behind New York and LA. I think it's New York, it's LA, and then it's the ATL. Yes, you would probably put us over Chicago, even to a degree over Miami, because like entertainment's going on here. And so Henry Welsh is down with all of them dudes. He's down with Big Boy. He's down with Mike Epps. And so big things going on with my man Henry Welsh. I really, really do appreciate the love. And yeah, I mean, they show love. Like Atlanta showed much love when we were getting fired from jobs left and right. When we were getting fired from jobs left and right, I'd have people every single day say, "We miss the Stews. We love the Stews." And that's real. That's real. The Stews' name ring out in these streets, okay? When we were showing the door at the Puppet Factory, it didn't matter. We still love you, Stews. When we were showing the doors at our last radio job, the one we had for over 10 years, people still show us love in them streets. Yes. First time I see somebody on the streets, when y'all coming back, man? And I'm saying to myself, damn it, if I knew, I would tell you. I wouldn't be standing here right now. But I appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of the love, and that kind of goes to the point I'm trying to make about Atlanta love. Yeah. For people doing big things, making moves, and Atlanta's a city where people make moves. I mean, there's a lot of moves made here in this city. There's a lot of affluent, influential people, especially in the African-American community here in this city. They make moves. Atlanta people make moves, and that's kind of one of the things, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that's kind of one of the things that attracted me to the city is people doing things around here. Ninjas making moves around here, man. Yes. And they show love. A lot of places you do things, you try to do big things, and you got crabs in the bucket, people trying to hold you down and hating on you for this, that, and the other. Not so in the ATL. It's all love in Atlanta. It's all love. Love you, ATL. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the most interactive sports talk show in America. That's right. We are claiming it. We are claiming it. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to tell 2 people, pass the word about the most fun, the most interactive sports talk show in America. That's what I need you to do. Do that for me, and I'll be good. I'll be good. Just tell 2 people. And I got to keep reminding you. That every day since we started this show 2 weeks ago, okay, we've had more people listen the next day than the day before. Yes. So I'm telling you, it's like a snowball. I mean, it's a very simple concept. Tell 2 people. This is kind of like the multi-level marketing show of sports talk radio. Yes, it's like a pyramid. But not a bad pyramid scheme. It's a good pyramid scheme. All right? I'm at the top, and I'm telling y'all, and then y'all tell people under y'all, and the pyramid keeps getting bigger. Yes, it's a good pyramid, and you get paid at the end, unlike most pyramid schemes. Yes, you get paid in the end with great sports talk and a lot of fun. Yes, that's exactly what you get. Yeah, I like that. I just came up with that, too. It's the pyramid of sports talk radio. Yes, I like that. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Man, have you heard about Aaron Hernandez? I think dude might beat this case. We'll talk more about that. We'll grab your calls. I'll read more of your tweets. Talk about some of the stuff going on in the chat room. And keep it going. Sports talk for the people. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome to Atlanta, my SC State Bulldog family. Once again, your boy Stu is throwing the biggest party of the year, October 3rd, 2014, in honor of the classic game being played in Atlanta that Saturday. It's only for the grown and sexy, though. The party will be held in the Georgia Ballroom in the Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 590 West Peachtree Street, Northwest ATL, starting at 10 p.m. Atlanta's own DJ Cowboy playing all the old school hits. You know how he do. It's going to be crazy. Last year at Asia, 4 years ago at Shout, this year at the Crown Plaza, bananas! Advance tickets are $20 for a limited time, so get yours at theclassicparty.eventbrite.com. Last year, over 1,000 people kicked it hard at ATL with your boy. And to quote the great Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. See you in Atlanta. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company, but they understand how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so that they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. This is the Doug Stewart Show, Friday, October 3rd, 2014, and it is going down, and I am really tripping. And maybe this has something to do with the issues I talked about a little bit earlier in the week, a couple days ago, with hits to the head. So I'm tripping. I'm reading these posts on this chat, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And I look down at the bottom, and I see a little box. And the box looks like a little box where I can type stuff in, and I can chat. And I've been doing the show 2 weeks and didn't even realize I can chat with my people on Spreaker.com. Yeah! I can join in on the conversation. So I just did. And I'm tripping because it's 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to figure out that I could chime in on my own damn chat. Pray for me. Just pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Oh, my Lord. Oh, quick. Oh, quick. I got to get rid of this track, too, because it stops too early. But damn. I'm tripping. My bad, everybody on the chat. So what I'll do now is I'll chime in every once in a while on whatever we're talking about on the Doug Stewart Show. And this is the Doug Stewart Show. And the last segment of this show is brought to you by Univon. Great long distance. Not like you at your mama house. That's what it is, Univon. Continue to tell people about Univon and about FanDuel and the Classic Party by going to my page in the DougStewartShow.com. You help keep this thing going. Yeah, you help put food in my kid's mouth, and that's very important. Food in my children's mouth is very important. It is. Yes, you may not think so because it's not your children, but it is. It most certainly is. So tell people about the show. Let's grow this show. Let's make it the biggest and the best and the most fun and the most interactive. It just got more interactive just now because now I can chime in with my peoples on the Spreaker chat. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining you boys. One big story that people are talking about that's kind of newsworthy is your boy Aaron Hernandez. Your boy Aaron Hernandez is in the news. A judge has thrown out as evidence bullets found in an apartment rented by ex-New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez. In a magazine, bullets found in his Hummer, saying police didn't demonstrate probable cause for the searches. And you know what? I'm all for the judge's rulings and calling it like it TIdouble is. Now, Aaron Hernandez appears to be very, very much guilty in killing these people. I mean, he's charged now with multiple murders, okay? But once again, the rules are the rules. If you get some evidence by a legal search and seizure, then the judge got to do what she has to do. And they messed up. And this is what happens when you see people frame people, when you see the police frame people. And not that the police frame people all the time, but yeah, we've seen some video, some of the craziest video you've ever seen, surveillance cameras being posted on Facebook over the last couple of months, where I saw this one video and this cop clearly tried to frame this dude in the convenience store. So, yeah, you can't get the evidence illegally. So I get it, but my gosh, if our legal system is built on little, discrepancies like this, wow, God pray for us, my Lord. So Aaron Hernandez, I don't know. And I thought this thing was like an open and shut case. But they throwing out this major piece of evidence in this upcoming trial. I'm starting to think that money can buy you freedom. And they always talk about that. And sports stars and celebrities having the ability to buy them their ways out of trouble. And I think this might be one of those cases. I think that Aaron Hernandez might beat this thing. As crazy as that sounds, with all the evidence and I guess 9 out of 10, 90% out of it is a lot of circumstantial evidence. But damn, it looks like a lot of real good circumstantial evidence to me. But it looks like Aaron Hernandez might beat this thing. Wow, only in America. So we're going to keep our eyes on this case going forward, just like everybody is. But wow, that when I heard that, I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, it sounds like major evidence, not just a little bit of evidence, not something inconsequential. unconsequential. It sounds like real good evidence. So we'll keep our eyes on that. All right, this is the Doug Stewart Show. Big games in the world of sports this weekend. Right here in the ATL, you got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets hosting the Miami Hurricanes. So we'll see if they can keep things going. Georgia Tech is 4-0, and people tripping. If you don't really pay attention, if you didn't really watch or really are in tune with Georgia Tech is 4-0 right now. Huh? Yes. With that offense that they run down there, and they're winning games. They had the huge win, their signature win against Virginia Tech a couple of weeks ago. Had the bye last week. But, yeah, Georgia Tech is 4-0 right now at the top of their division in the ACC. So we'll see if they can keep it going against a 3-2 Miami team. Then you've got Georgia, who's 3-1. You know, they only lost to South Carolina or to Clemson. Taking on Vanderbilt this weekend. Lost my train of thought there for a second, but they're taking on Vanderbilt this weekend. So we'll see what happens. And Georgia's actually only loss was to South Carolina. They beat Clemson. So Georgia taking on Vandy this weekend, 3-1 against 1-4. We got to keep our eyes on Todd Gurley to see if he can keep it going in his run for the Heisman Trophy. That'd be so great if Todd Gurley could win a Heisman. And I think right now he's the best player in college football. I do. I think he's the best player in college football. Had the huge game last weekend against Tennessee. So he should just run all through Vandy. And I hate it when a guy that I'm rooting for to win a particular award plays against a team that they probably are going to dominate, because what happens is that he'll go off in the first half and then they'll pull him out for the third and fourth quarter. Coaches like Mark Richt don't like padding player stats. So Todd Gurley should have one of these games against Vandy where he gets 200-plus yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns. But since Vandy sucks so bad, he probably won't get the opportunity. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So we'll see what happens with that. Georgia's off to a great start. It began a stretch of 7 straight league games and has regained control of its own destiny because South Carolina did lose last weekend against Missouri. So we're keeping our eyes on the Georgia Bulldogs. And then the other game that we're paying attention to around here is the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons go on the road taking on the New York Football Giants. And a good matchup between two pretty much evenly matched teams to me. An interesting thing about that is O.C. Umenyiora is going back to the team where he made his name against the New York Giants at the Meadowlands. So we'll see if he comes out of his shell and has a throwback game, because he's been decent for the Falcons in spots, but he's not the O.C. Umenyiora in his early years with the New York Giants. He's definitely not. So hopefully he can turn things around and have a big thing and get after his old teammate Eli Manning. That would be real good. All right? So what's going on in your world of sports, in your town, in your city? What are you talking about? What game are you looking most forward to? Okay? What game is you and your boys talking about? That's what we're talking about around here. Anything you want to talk about. You know what I kind of envision this show being? Let me give you this little sermon. What I kind of envision this show being is a show where I can get individual guys with boots on the ground, and I've used that term a lot this week. Let's call it a BOG. I need some BOGs in every city kind of reporting, kind of like yesterday we had a guy call from Cleveland talking about the Cavs. Kind of like a barbershop roll call, but you don't necessarily have to cut hair. Okay? You could just be a big Houston Astros fan living in Houston, in H-Town, and want to call the show and talk about your Astros. We talk a lot of Georgia sports around here because that's just osmosis. I'm going to do that naturally because I'm here and I've been following the teams for over a decade. But if you want to talk about the Cincinnati Reds or the Bengals or the Baltimore Ravens or, I don't know, the Miami Dolphins or the Houston Texans, this is the place to do it. Call up to the show at 404-382-0338 and be my bog. My man with boots on the ground, okay? And tell us what's going on. What are the people and the sports fans in your area talking about? That would be cool. That would be real cool to hear what everybody is saying about their teams from their perspective. I think that'd be a great thing, all right? The number to the show, if you want to try to jump on and be one of my individual bogs, dude with boots on the ground, it's 404-382-0338. Call up anytime. And also, if you're a company out there and you want to talk to the Doug Stewart Show about sponsorship and promoting your product, your brand, also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Thank you to all my producers. Shouts out to Tree, the Tree of Life. We really appreciate everything you do, Tree. I mean, she makes this boat sail. I mean, she really does. I mean, it's unbelievable how much work she does. And I'm going to take care of you at some point. The check's in the mail, Tree. I promise I'm going to take care of you. I promise I'm going to take care of you. Shouts out to Waterhead Walter. Thank you for everything you do, Walter, as well. My assistant producer, Dwayne Bassan, my internet engineering guy. I appreciate all that you do. Thank you for all that you do. Be careful this weekend. You still got time. You still can come up to the door tonight at the Classic Party and you know, get down with the show and you know, party with us, the South Carolina State people and the A&T people for the Classic Party. It's going down tonight at the Crown Plaza, downtown ATL. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Tell 2 people this weekend. Damn it, on the weekend, tell 3 people. Tell 3 people. I really would appreciate it. Continue to pass the word. Sports talk for the people. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Peace.